Brad nailer versus finish nailer. On the surface, brad nailers and finish nailers, often referred to as finishing nailers, are very similar. Both are accurate nailers designed for precision nailing as opposed to bulk nailing. So, let's dive into the video. Number 1. What is a brad nailer? A brad nailer looks and operates like a nail gun, but unlike every other nailer on the market today, it doesn't actually shoot nails. A brad nailer shoots brads. For those unfamiliar with what brads are, they are essentially a thin nail. Your average brad nail has a gauge of 18 and is generally only 0.0475 inches in cross-section. Number 2. Finish nailer. A finish nailer serves a very similar role to a brad nailer. Much like a brad nailer, you won't be using a finish nailer for the majority of a job or a project. Instead, you bring it out for very specific situations. If you need to put up trim or molding, you would use a finish nailer as opposed to a regular nail gun. Number 3. Hole size. Firstly, both create different sized holes on wood when they get used. As any woodworker or carpenter can tell you, when you use a nail gun on wood, you often need to use putty to fill in the holes left by the nail gun. Well, with a finish nailer, this is true. The holes created by finish nailers often require you to use some putty, although not as much as with other nail guns, to fill them. Number 4. Nails. The brad nailer is designed to shoot 18-gauge nails, whereas the finish nail guns are either for 16-gauge or 15-gauge nails. The below table shows the nail size difference between 16-gauge and 18-gauge nails. As you can see, when it comes to nails, the higher the gauge number, smaller their diameter or cross-sectional size. Number 5. Power. In terms of power, finishing nailers are the more powerful of the two kinds of nailers. For example, say you have some heavy and/or thick trim that you need to put up. You could try using a brad nailer, but you risk not having enough to keep the trim secure. Number 6. When to go for a brad or finish nailer. Determining when to go for a brad or finish nailer is not an easy thing to do. It will largely be determined by the weight and thickness of whatever it is that you are using the nailer on. If you are working with something play of hardwood or thick plywood, then you should definitely go for a finish nailer. By using this guide, you should be able to easily determine if you should use a brad nailer or a finish nailer on your next job or home project. If you are still confused, bring a sample of whatever it is that you are trying to nail to your local hardware store and ask an expert for their opinion.